To the 36% of my viewers that are women, what would you do for a chance at a successful pregnancy? Pay thousands of dollars for in vitro fertilization? Consider pagan magic?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Stupid sexy Flanders.
Well, we see Liv Whitley and what happens when she at least tries the first two options. Billie Lourd stars as Liv, a woman almost as desperate to be a mother as Nora Montgomery, just with less skull and brain matter in her hair. And we'll see the lengths that she'll go to not only to conceive, but keep her baby once it's born. I'm Dallas with That Ass Serious, and today we're looking at the 5th episode of American Horror Stories titled Baal, where, according to the synopsis, a mother does the unthinkable for a chance at a successful pregnancy. We'll talk later about if that's accurate or not, but for now, meet Liv and Matt, a young modern LA couple who have been trying to get pregnant for quite some time to no avail. Liv openly yearns to feel a life growing inside of her, and it's insinuated that this inability to conceive is a result of her biology. Her husband Matt wants nothing more than to be supportive while also carving out a name for himself in Hollywood, and his jackpot status is reinforced when Bernadette, the receptionist at the in vitro clinic they frequently visit, points out how lucky Liv is to have him. She's also seen Liv come to the clinic for 2 years with no luck and offers her an alternative that she hasn't considered yet. A human-shaped pagan fertility totem that Bernadette says has been in her family for generations. Desperate for a chance, Liv takes it, remarks how she could use a little magic, and goes home to put it under her bed as instructed. After yet another badass intro, arguably the best part of stories so far, we cut to 16 months later. The totem has apparently worked because Liv has a wee little baby, and Matt even has an acting gig on NCIS. It's a corpse, but whatever, gig's a gig. The problem is that Liv doesn't feel like she's the mother she was hoping to be, and she starts lashing out about how the situation was a mistake after not being able to calm little baby Aaron. Later that evening, Liv starts hearing strange sounds and remembers the totem, which has become more defined and even started sprouting horns. Seemingly bothered, she goes and puts it in a box in their closet, and after getting the shit scared out of her by corpse Matt, she confides in him about how she still doesn't feel like a good mother. He suggests a therapist, which she'll definitely be needing after seeing a spooky demon on the baby monitor later that night. And remember this bit where the demon's behind her real time. At therapy, Dr. Berger suggests that Liv isn't crazy, just exhausted and stressed, and probably passing that on to wee baby Aaron. Reluctant to take medication, Liv gets some strategies to help with the fussiness, and to her and Matt's surprise, it makes all the difference. But no amount of detox baths or spa days are going to shake Liv's feeling that something's wrong, and after finding a fully developed totem in the crib that scares the housekeeper into quitting, Liv finds even more evidence in the basement that this demon is a Baal's hole and a bad tenant. She brings the mounting evidence to Matt's attention, including a recording of something saying that it wants him, presumably referring to Aaron. Matt suggests that Dr. Berger might not be helping like Liv thought, but she refuses to accept that she's crazy and keeps working to prove that she's not. That is, until Berger comes by for a day visit, suggests hormones and sleep loss are to blame, and then prescribes Zoloft to help, which Liv later caves on and starts taking. It's a celebration for Matt and his NCIS character that's been expanded with a whole flashback episode, giving him actual lines, and his college friends are there to let the good times roll. When game night goes a tad supernatural, however, Liv loses it and embarrasses Matt in front of him.
What does that mean?
He is mine means Aaron.
Liv, come on.
Fucking thing!
Hey, come here. Those are my best friends. All right, people I've known since college, and now they think you're fucking crazy.
The storm has Aaron upset later, and the Godfather, Satan Father, jump scares Liv and teleports away. Remember that. Also, he calls her a bitch. Rude fucking demon. Bernadette gets a visit from Liv, who asks what the hell's going on. Bernadette explains that Baal is a fertility god, not a demon. This isn't how it should be going, and she was only trying to help by offering the totem. She skims through her grimoires
They're compendiums of black magic.
and offers a spell to banish the demon, along with some sweet, consecrated hardware to do it with. At home alone for the night, Liv's attempting the ritual, getting her Latin on, and BAM! You don't just walk up into Liv's house, bitch! Oh shit, that's Matt. Do you want to get committed? Because that's how you get committed. Not only does Liv get committed, she commits to being committed by signing her freedoms away until she's better. After a visit from Matt, we see how much of a loving husband he is when he and Bernadette exposition admit to gaslighting Liv the whole time. Another celebration takes place, this time for the success of Matt's real acting gig, his marriage. With the help of time, psychoactive medication that he had swapped with her Zoloft, and his equally douchey, although talented friends,
The hidden sound system for Ball and the raccoon scratches, truly inspiring.
Anyone gonna say anything about the 3 different totems I had to carve? And what about my awesome mist?
Babe, at least you don't have to wear horns on your head. Those wings kind of screwed up my rotator cuffs.
he gaslit his wife into a temporary psychosis, Rosemary's Baby style. I'm an actor playing a role I never signed up for, he says, explaining how he had worn tight underwear and even took steroids to keep from having a kid. Now that he does, he's in on the fortune of Liv's. The party's still in motion when sounds and fog start rolling in again, despite all of the trickery having been removed already, and fairly quickly each friend is dispatched, in an oddly Mortal Kombat-ish kind of way. Rory gets clothesline beheaded, Emma gets KO'd, Stan gets Sub-Zero'd, and Bernadette gets PG-13 to death. Matt takes the fall and winds up in prison, where he gets a visit from Liv. He confesses to her that he didn't want kids, and eventually he didn't want her either, and says that Baal is the one who killed his friends. Liv gaslights him back as a nice twist.
It's the demon. It was Ball. He's real. And he killed everybody.
And denies his request for lawyer cash to help sell an insanity plea before leaving him to rot in prison.
Your story, or that you really think I would ever help you.
He yells, claiming that Baal is real and not to go back to the house, and he has no idea just how much she already knows that. Back home, Liv monologues about how she summoned Baal to Baal using the fake banishing spell that Bernadette had given her. Turns out it was a real summoning spell that Liv had used in the asylum, and Baal did her bidding by taking everybody at the party out. Now, he's about to do her bidding one last time when she tells him that she'll release him on one condition: you give me another baby. Now, apart from questions that I had with how the Gaslighters pulled off some of their shenanigans, like the Baal on the baby monitor behind Liv, real time, and how no doctor attributed their inability to get pregnant on Matt's self-induced low sperm count, but I felt this was one of the better offerings from stories so far. But at this point, that unfortunately isn't saying much. As a huge fan of the original series, there were hopes or expectations that should have been more tempered before going in. American Horror Stories, this is not, but it doesn't quite feel like it knows what it's trying to be in and of itself, or how it's supposed to stand out from its predecessor. It's been underwhelming so far, save for a few high points like the ballsy ending of Drive-In, influencers getting theirs, and Scarlett actually making it out of Murder House alive, but the tone and feel of stories has been wacky and disjointed to say the least. Every episode so far has taken place in LA, and apart from Drive-In's apocalyptic ending, they could all potentially take place in the same timeline, or even the main timeline. Manny Coto is also a writer on 4 of the 7 episodes, basically any episode not about Murder House, so spoilers for the finale if you didn't know it was coming back again. Also, if you could write an episode, what would it be about? The show seems to be teen, young adult centric, so a slasher episode would be interesting. Cutting a slasher down to 50 minutes would trim a lot of fat and really tighten up the lulls between the kills. And if you get a good story behind it, I think that setup could really work in this format. Next week on Stories, we're going to be following a doomed family and a sexy park ranger into the woods in the episode titled Feral, where things don't just go bump in the night, they come and eat your ass. And not in a good way. Subscribe to stay up to date, and we're closing in on double feature as well. 3 weeks. See y'all next time.